Mary Kane is an award-winning painter, environmental activist, and beloved member of our congregation. Mary's moving to Virginia to live closer to her adult children, and we will miss her presence and her determination to make positive change in our congregation and our world. Mary was one of the driving forces in the creation of the ECO Committee, which has spearheaded multiple projects, events, and learning opportunities over the years. Some of the most remarkable were an elaborate Earth Day fest in Ditmar Park and the church becoming a green sanctuary in 2003. Mary and her husband Don were largely responsible for convincing the church to buy into 100% wind power and install solar panels. She also started our Green Stripers program to help keep coffee hour sustainable and climate friendly. Mary has brought carefully selected, varied, spirit awakening, and sometimes provocative, challenging, or disturbing art into our fireside room since the early 1990s, with the help of the Visual Arts Committee. Mary believes that all art is spiritual. The art and artists she has brought into our community and our consciousness demonstrate that principle. Oftentimes, the artists have given talks at their opening receptions to educate members and friends and raise awareness of social issues. A portion of sales from these art exhibits has come to the church, and sometimes they've also provided funds for other worthwhile organizations. The Visual Arts Committee is currently raising funds to purchase one of Mary's paintings to hang permanently in the church in her honor. Mary Kane, may your passion for justice and love of art carry you lightly into the adventures that await you.
I just want to say that many of us are in the process of making big changes in our lives, and this is one enormous change for me to leave this area where I love so many people, and I love this church, and it's really difficult. So Dawn has asked me to read this saying that many of us will appreciate by William Bridges. Much as we may wish to make a new beginning, some part of us resists doing so as though we were making the first step toward disaster. We resist transition, not because we can't accept the change, but because we can't accept letting go of that piece of ourselves that we have to give up when and because the situation has changed.
Thank you for sharing those words with us this morning, Mary. I'll light our chalice. I invite you to join with me in singing our first hymn, We Are a Gentle, Angry People.
Gentle, angry people, and we are singing for our lives. We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing for our lives. We are a justice-seeking people, and we are singing for our lives. We are a justice-seeking people, and we are singing for our lives. We are young and old together, and we are singing for our lives. We are young and old together, and we are singing for our lives.
I have a brief parable for you this morning. Once upon a time, a young girl wandered into the kitchen as her dad was preparing a pot roast for dinner. He put the roast on a cutting board, chopped off the ends, and then popped it into the roasting pan. "Why did you cut off the ends?" she asked. "I cut off the ends because that's how my mom always did it," her dad said. "But now I wonder, since you ask me, I wonder why she did it that way." So he called up his mom, and the young girl asked her grandmother about it. The grandma said, "I don't know why I cut the ends off. I guess I did it that way because that's how my mom did it." Well, this family was blessed to have that great-grandmother still living, still feisty at 90. So the girl and her father called her up, and they asked. And the great-grandmother said, "Oh, I cut off the ends of the roast because when I started out in my first kitchen, I had a very small pan, and a roast was too big to fit in it." It's always good to ask ourselves, are we doing this because it really makes things better? Or just because we've always done it that way? And if it's just because, what could we do that would make a bigger difference?